Good morning, everybody. It's Max McAllister from Traxxion Dynamics. We're going to show you a custom mount we did today for a Garmin Zumo. This is a Zumo 595. This is the custom bike that we've been working on here for about a month at the shop. We're doing a total customization, but one thing the owner wanted was this, a second GPS system on the bike. And as people are aware, if you own one of these bikes, probably the single most complained about thing from Honda is the factory navigation is apparently, is extremely disliked by the people that purchase the bike. Enough so that they're willing to buy and mount a second GPS somewhere on the bike just so they can have something that's more functional. So this is a Zumo 595, and we did a custom mount here. Basically got it as low and close to the factory dash as possible, same angle, so that we wouldn't interfere with the use and function of all of the other controls in the call it master system on the bike. And so we fabricated a mount for it that makes it nice and secure, and centered it on the dash. It does render the little pop-up vent useless, but hey, you have to break a few eggs sometimes, as they say, to get what you need. And so that one little sacrifice the owner was insignificant to the owner compared to having a better GPS. So the main primary Garmin harness, after we got our mount made, we plumbed in through the dash here. So we made a nice entrance for the harness for the Garmin. And then the harness is routed down through behind the windshield raising and lowering mechanisms, which are all under here. So we routed it down behind it inside, and it's zip tied to the windshield and dash frame inside there. And then it follows along, and we brought it in along with some of the lines of the factory wiring harness underneath the covers here. And then, so there's several optional inputs and plugs on the Zumo. So there's an audio in, an audio out, a microphone in, obviously power and ground, and then a USB female receptacle port, so you could plug in another USB accessory in some fashion. So what I chose to do with all that stuff, the owner wanted to be able to hear his radar detector in his helmet. So we plumbed his radar detector into the audio in of the Zumo. And since the Zumo's Bluetooth to his helmet, he'll get information from the Zumo and his radar detector through one Bluetooth connection there. It's not using the microphone or the audio out, so those are coiled up and tucked away in the bike. The power cables we ran down through, and again with all the accessories we're adding to this bike, we've created a harness path along the side of the bike, and in there are things like the XM antenna wire, some USB cell phone wire, his power leads from his radar detector and all this stuff, which is coming down here towards this accessory terminal. And then he had the optional USB cable, which is extremely long on this harness. And what I've chosen to do with that is I've run it also along with our harness, and I'm going to feed this into the left saddlebag where where Honda has an optional accessory cable that you can put in. We've taken that cable and put it up for his wife to use through the saddle for her cell phone. So now they'll just have this as a charging port inside this left saddlebag. And so the mount is something we're probably going to produce as a product. It's pretty nice. It's nice and secure. Doesn't vibrate. It does use Garmin's integrated. It's got some vibration dampening in it. So we feel like this is a pretty nice mount. It is not an easy install. The bike will have to be stripped pretty extensively to do this. And again, not for the faint of heart type of installation. But when it's done, it's obviously very, very clean. So you come around to the back here, you can kind of get a look down from the back at what it looks like. We haven't powered it up yet, so you won't be able to see what that looks like. But there's kind of the view from the rider's seat of a Garmin installation. All right, so that's kind of what another update on this at the moment. This is a lot of spaghetti going on here as we get the wiring tightened up on this bike. So in a month or two, we'll probably have this as a product. It'll take a little time to get it, drawn and prototyped, and this is the first one we've done, but it's come out really nicely. So I'm pleased with the result, and I hope the owner is too. So. All right, I'm Max. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and share these videos with your friends if you like them. If you have any questions or comments, you can post them below in the comments on here on YouTube. You can find me, max@traxxion.com is my email, and our company's website is www.traxxion.com. So thanks a lot.